It is a very special moment. There she is.
Yo, 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 yo.
Hey guys, welcome back to Dubai Diaries. Today I am enjoying a beautiful day in Munich with a lot of greenery around me and fresh air. Munich is like my second home because my parents live here, so I'm here to visit them quite often. Despite me saying that I am really happy in Dubai, and I am enjoying it here so much at the moment. I am going with Christina, my older sister, going to the city center to do some shopping. Ever since she got children, we don't spend that much time together. So every time we do, it is a very special moment. There she is, and her car is like a kid's car, so she's de-installing her kids stuff. Okay.
Yes.
Usually there are some kids bikes, all kinds of entertainment things for kids in there. Yeah, so now let's go. This one needs a wash as well. Okay. Oh, my back. My back still really hurts from my fall in the plane. You remember from my last vlog I told you about. It's recovering, but it hurts. Check this out. So adorable. This is Alessandra. She's so cute. We arrived in Maxvorstadt, which is an area in Munich, quite a nice one. It is known for all the nice restaurants here. Lots of students live and come here to eat. It's actually quite expensive to rent an apartment here, isn't it, Maxvorstadt? Generally, Munich rentals are really expensive. What do you guys think? Do you think it's worth it to buy something in Europe or in Dubai? Would you rather, if you had the money, would you rather invest it in an apartment in Dubai or here? I think I'd rather invest in Dubai because it feels like prices are still very affordable. You get just so much more than you do in Europe. On the other hand, though, Europe is more historical. Like owning an apartment in Munich, for example, gives you that piece of history and sort of own something that's been there for many years. Plus, I think the construction here is much better than in Dubai. Unfortunately, because they tend to build things very fast, I feel that lots of things break every now and then. But maybe that's just my conception. Generally, the buildings and the architecture in Dubai I prefer to Europe. It'd be interesting to hear your take on it. We are in a place called Orange Box with my sister. It's a very healthy sort of vegan, not fully vegan. They have loads of vegan options here, loads of healthy vegan options, and I used to come here quite often when I lived here. And now it's just my sister eating because I already had something at home. That's her salad and her homemade iced tea. Very nice. And this is my jasmine tea. And that's my labubu. What I was thinking today of talking about is a really important topic that affects a lot of people nowadays, and that's mental health. And there are a couple of habits that I sort of integrated in my life and that have improved my life just so much, which I wanted to share with you today. The first habit being my waking up routine. So in the morning when I wake up, instead of taking my phone straight away, which would be so easy to do, what I do in the first 15 minutes of waking up, I go towards my window. If it's not too hot in Dubai, I go outside onto my balcony and try to get some UV light in, because the UV light sets your brain's circadian rhythm, and the circadian rhythm is basically your awake sleeping cycle in your brain, which is regulating your brain. That's why jet lags are so bad and are so difficult to cope with and actually bring you into slight depression, because your circadian rhythm is actually broken for that time being while you're suffering from that jet lag. So that is very important for your mental health. It's so easy to do. So the first 15 minutes when you wake up, instead of getting your phone and scrolling, just go outside and get some UV light. Okay, huge contrast to Dubai. Here we've got a Augustiner Bräu, which is basically a beer place, and you can eat some German food, which is actually very nice, but I'd say nice once a year. And the big FC Bayern store, where you can buy trikots and everything. And now we're going to DM, which is a drugstore, which I kind of like and miss. And we're gonna check some small articles, from sunscreen to baby food to everything there, shampoos, got everything there. So yeah, that's the plan. Going there now. Germans will know why I like it. My German girls, what do you think about the M? Do you like it as much? My second habit that I would like to talk about is slightly less obvious, and it's all about regulating your dopamine levels. Your dopamine is sort of your reward system in your brain. If you try to delay gratification, your life just becomes so much better and you become so much more happy. I stopped giving my brain cheap hits like eating junk food all the time, eating sweets. My favorite sweets are actually the Haribos. By giving that to myself, it's just instant gratification, which I try to train my brain not to get all the time. Say you go for a walk and then you see your favorite bakery and you just want to get that croissant. Instead of that croissant, delaying gratification would be to say to yourself, okay, I'm going to finish my walk now, and if I come back to this bakery and I still want that croissant, then I'll get it. It is quite likely that if you walk back towards the bakery, you don't want it anymore. And if you do, you'll enjoy the croissant just so much more, just because you've trained your brain that discipline and delayed your gratification. We're having such a good day, just walking around, enjoying the air. You can actually feel that the air quality here is so much better than in Dubai. Doesn't mean that I prefer the city, but for summer, it's amazing. So we're just walking around, shopping a little bit. Just got here. We'll probably go shop for some clothes, and then we're gonna go get some lunch. That's the plan. Another big one that affects everybody's mental health a lot is scrolling through your Instagram in the first moment when you wake up. It just gives your brain bad signals. That feeds your brain in the first instant when you wake up with social media content, which is just not good brain food. Limit that. Better have a bottle of water, go outside for a bit, do everything else, do a little bit of stretching. Just don't go on Instagram in the first hour after waking up. And not just Instagram, all kinds of social medias. Avoid using all kinds of social medias in your first waking hour. When you do use social media, and it is sort of unavoidable nowadays because your social media presence is often needed for work, for marketing purposes, for your personal branding. So I'm not saying get off social media completely, but what you can do is you can create a list of people that you follow that actually give you some kind of purpose, some kind of value. So make sure you're not following people that make you feel inadequate, that make you compare yourself to them, that make you jealous. jealous. Try not to follow these people and try to create a following list of people that actually give you positivity and positive feelings. Another big one that gives your mental health a burden rather than clarity is lying. Even small micro lies and something we call white lies, they create clutter in your brain. So the more honest you are and specific to yourself, the clearer your brain will function. Be as radically transparent with yourself about yourself as much as possible, and also try to be as honest as possible to other people, because being honest is easy, whereas lying creates, again, clutter, creates confusion, just affects your mental health. Let's talk about boredom. Boredom is something that we feel a lot more nowadays than we used to in the non-digital age. I mean, today's 20-year-olds will not know what it used to be like before, but boredom used to be quite a normal thing for us, and we used to cope with it much more. And I think nowadays it's something we need to learn again, to sit in boredom, to sit without listening to music, without reading something, without scrolling through something, just sitting there enjoying nature, and like in my situation at the moment, just looking at the trees, just being present. You know, it's another thing. Just be present and just see everything that's around you that you normally wouldn't if you were listening to music in headphones, or even worse, if you were on the phone constantly. So that's a big one to affect your mental well-being. Nutrition is a big one for me. Nutrition is something that affects everyone's well-being. A lot of people don't know this. The majority of our serotonin production, I think 80% of the production of our serotonin levels actually occurs in our gut. So our gut microbiome, so the bacteria that reside in our gut, are super important. And with things like junk food, artificial sweetness, loads of sugar, you can actually actually destroy or change that microbiome to a completely different one, which thereby affects our serotonin production. And serotonin is super important for our happiness levels. So again, what you eat is super important for your mental health. Eat as unprocessed as possible. I always say, for me, a rule is whatever is sort of packaged is processed. Whatever is not packaged, like a cucumber or a tomato or potatoes, anything that's super natural, or dates, which is also full of sugar, but it's natural sugar and is unprocessed, you can have as much as you want. Be careful with the processed food. I guess a slightly less obvious tip that I have for you is language. The language that you use around yourself. So first of all, don't ever talk badly about yourself. Say things like, oh, I am not good enough, or I'm not skinny enough, or whatever enough, or I don't look good today. Try not to say it, because your subconscious brain doesn't know that it's not the truth that you're saying. So try being really, really kind to yourself in your thoughts and your language. The other thing is also negative language affects your brain a lot. By even talking not just negatively about yourself, but about other people, you affect your mental health that way. Try to be kind in your words and in your actions, of course, for your own well-being. So that's my last tip. And I'm gonna finish off this day by going for a 15-minute walk now in this area here, which is super beautiful. I'm gonna go home and make myself some food and just relax for the end of the day. Let me know what you guys think about the things that I told you about mental health. Maybe you have some really good tips as well. I was talking about some obvious tips, like, you know, scrolling on Instagram and everything. Also some not so obvious ones. Oh, actually, I didn't mention one that's also very important. Maybe not as obvious as the scrolling on the phone. So I think cold water exposure gives you such a boost, and I think it has been proven as well. I'm going to research that, whether there are some good studies on the link to mental health and cold water plunges, but I think they really help you. So you guys, let me know what you guys think about the tips that I've given you, and maybe you've got something to add. It's 6:58 a.m. Way too early to function now. And I have arrived back in my favorite city, back in Dubai. Now I'm on my way to get my luggage, which is on belt 7, my favorite number. The day starts really good. I've had a really nice flight where I was sleeping throughout the whole time. It was a night flight, which I actually don't always enjoy, but I could sleep super nicely tonight. The only reason I don't always enjoy it is because the flight was quite short, actually. So it was only 5 hours and 20 minutes for some reason from Munich to Dubai, which is usually 6 hours, but today I don't know why. Probably the wind was a bit stronger, so we got here much faster. So I'm very much looking forward to start my week again. Tomorrow I'm off to work. Today I still have some nice plans. I'm going to see some friends, maybe get my apartment cleaned or clean it myself. We'll see how much energy I have. And yeah, all good to go again. Really happy to be back.